Hello, I'm Dylan. I am the community manager at Projects Nile House, which means that I am the welcoming face of the space. I'm part problem solver, part event manager, and sometimes a little bit of a therapist if someone's having a bad day. Beyond the daily operations, the emails, the schedules, and the events and things like that, the heart of my role is essentially about brightening people's day and making them feel more engaged. We spend so much of our lives at work, and I think it's really essential to make people feel like they belong. And in doing that, I get to share that experience. We joined the Chamber because it shares our values, which are to include and to inspire. And I feel like every time I go to the events, there are full of people who genuinely want to make a difference. And the outcome of all of the work that the Chamber does is bringing together all of these micro communities that do share these values and transforming them into one wider, much more well-rounded, larger community that can do more. Warm, engaged, and hungry, both for knowledge and for breakfast. The best referral I've made for someone in the Chamber is actually for new members of our team to go to Chamber events. Co-working as an industry attracts people from so many different backgrounds, and for a lot of them, networking is this really unfamiliar, scary thing. And the Chamber events don't have that feeling at all. They have a really inclusive, curious atmosphere to them, and everyone there is really, really kind. And I think it's a great introduction and a great confidence booster for people who wouldn't consider themselves maybe a natural networker. So I remember specifically at a Chamber event on employee engagement, we were asked to share our most positive work experiences, and everyone went around the room and they said these really lovely things that had happened at work. And I think it was actually a Chamber member of staff who was hosting the event that said that their best work experience was based on one of their worst experiences, and that they'd been going through a really hard time in their life. And when they spoke to their employer about it, they offered them just an incredible sense of support and kind of reassured them that work was the least of the worries at that time. A few months later, I found myself in a really similar position. I found out that I had to have an emergency operation just after I'd been promoted, and I was in the middle of moving house, and I had some other personal issues going on, and my mental health really, really spiraled, and I was struggling a lot. I remembered the story that that person had told, and it really encouraged me to speak to my employer. He went over and above to provide me the support and care, like beyond what I could imagine, beyond what I would expect an employer to do. And as someone who was new to Brighton and didn't really have a big support network, I don't think I would have gotten through that time without that support. And I don't think I would have had the courage to reach out to my employer had I not heard that story. I think it goes without saying it has to be the beach. When I first moved here, I would walk along the seafront and I would feel like I was in some sort of film. And I still feel like that sometimes. I don't know if that feeling ever goes away. I hope that it doesn't. Loneliness. And there's a really amazing organisation based in our building called Together Co. And they do a lot of amazing work around this subject. And I think it's something that's so overlooked, but is so prevalent in our society and experienced by so many people, by absolutely everyone. And there's so much more that we can do to address it. And I'm just personally really inspired by anyone who can create spaces, environments, conversations that can generate real, authentic human connection, because it can be really, really difficult for a lot of people. And I think that's part of why I do what I do. Sushi for breakfast. A little bit weird, a little bit wonderful, and definitely unforgettable.